Fog of War. Fog of War. Alright, Fog of War back again. Doing something a little different today. Just going to do a playthrough on a battle on Solasta, Crown of the Magister. Here we go. Surprising the enemy. I'm just going to kind of call the battle. They roll initiative. And I'm starting off with my rogue. Boom! Hit for a sneak attack. He rolls for perception, but he does see me, so I become unhidden. And then I'm like, I'm just going to fall back and draw them back into this room where I've got everybody posted up. I went ahead and cut out some of the parts where I stare at the screen for a long ass time and don't do anything. Looks like all the enemies were surprised. So here we go. Next up is Foggy. I named the characters after people who've commented in my videos. So I got Chuck and Mitchell, and then Foggy is me. And then since those are the only two people who have commented, I've just got a fourth random person named Mally, I think. So here we are. We got Mitchell. I'm thinking very hard about where to move him. He's a Dwarven Paladin. Looks like I'm just going to keep him in sneak, move him up, and... yeah. Ready up and attack. Yeah, they did the best they could for a video game. I think it's cool that you can ready a ranged attack. Round 2. Some sort of boss creature drops in. And back to Chuck. This is where I look at all the enemies and I'm like, why can't I hit them? I thought I can hit this guy. I can't hit anybody. So then I realize, hey, if I dash for my bonus action because of cunning action, I can go ahead and dash, then move forward one, and I'll be able to hit everybody. This guy's almost done, so take my shot against him. Ching! No sneak attack damage, but 7 was enough to put him down, and then fall back to keep drawing him in, hopefully, and in turn. It looks like they're all trying to rush the guy they can see. And then this dude casts Fly on himself, which I thought was cool. And up into the sky he goes. Then it's back over to Foggy, the Green Mage. One of the new classes, kind of like a Mage, Druid, Ranger hybrid. And I'm going to throw down Entangle here, right in this entryway. Hoping that as they funnel through, a lot of them will get caught and have to roll a strength check or be restrained. Which will give me advantage on them for attacks, which is always nice, if they do get restrained. Then I fall back with the Mage, who's still remaining hidden. They haven't seen him yet. He's still got his little sneak icon over his head. Alright, next up is my Cleric. What is it? Cammy. Oh yeah. Just try to get her into a position where she can fire on this guy. She has advantage. 2 dice, 8 plus 5, that's a hit, 13. And then I'm trying to make the right decision on what to do with her. I decide to go ahead and fall back. Enemy turns, they're still trying to funnel up through that same area right where I have the Entangle, which is perfect. Back over to Mitchell, and I'm looking at doing Fiery Presence with Channel Divinity to blind my enemies. Oh yeah. They make a dexterity saving throw or they get blinded by a flash for 1d4 turns. And there we go. 3 out of 4 failed the save, not bad. Then, as a bonus action, I decided to throw Shield of Faith on my rogue, Chuck. Plus 2 AC for a few rounds. Boom. Mitchell's done with his Paladin turn. And right on to Chuck, who's going to do a ranged attack. It should be at advantage, yep, because that guy is blinded. And nice, he's done. We're going to dash with Chuck and run back as far as we can. Keep luring the enemies in. First enemy's going to make his strength check and push right through that Entangle. Next one, yep, he makes it through as well. We got our flying guy. He is restrained, but he cast blindness on Mitchell. Mitchell passed the save, so he's not blind. 21. Next up, back to Foggy the Wizard. Going with a Firebolt cantrip. I was hesitant on that because that guy has partial cover. Gets a +2 to AC, but hey, it hit and it hurt. So good job, Foggy. And then I'm not wanting to lose concentration on that Entangle, so just falling back a little more. Wishing I had better cover. And next up, back to Cammy. Cammy, our Cleric. Looking at inflict wounds here, trying to remember how much damage it does, and then when it occurs to me to, yeah, go ahead and have a look, 3d10 damage, I'm like, oh yeah, we gotta give that a shot. So it's inflict wound times on the warrior, who probably has the more hit points. And 12 damage. It could have been more, but hey, at least it was a hit. This is the point where I look at bonus actions and go, oh, I probably should have cast Spiritual Weapon a while ago. Oops! End her turn. I'll get it next round. Successful strength save made, and he attacks Mitchell with a poisonous spine. Mitchell passes the Constitution saving throw, and he's resistant against poison. Figure I'm just going to go back and help out the group behind me. Move up and smash. Pass on the Divine Smite. Probably should have taken it and just killed that guy right there, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. How's my strategy? Next up in the rotation, back to Chuck. If I attack this close, it'd be a disadvantage, so we'll change back to melee weapons. And oh, it's a miss. It would have been a sneak attack, but didn't have advantage. Will I disengage? Yes. I'm going to disengage and fall back. Now the Saboteur activates its Call of the Night power and heals itself for 9. Got another one moved into the Entangle and gotten restrained. Alright, now this boss guy is casting Ray of Frost on Mitchell. Hits him and hinders him, should lower his speed, and gets a heal off, so that's always fun. Next up we got Foggy, and it looks like I'm going to go for my Magic Missile, which is usually something that, you know, you can't mess with unless someone has shield. And in this case, I think someone does have shield. So I throw all 3, and yes, it gets countered by the boss enemy. I scramble around for a few more seconds trying to figure out what I can do, and I come to the conclusion that it's nothing, and back onto Cammy. Cammy, I give it another shot with Inflict Wounds, and it's 100% miss. So, not much left to do but end her turn. Enemies attempt to move. Restrained, entangled, ha! I move Mitchell up into a more fortuitous position, and I decide to give up on the Saboteur for some reason. Which was foolish. I should have just focused him down. Alright. Back on to Chuck. Yeah, I decided, I guess I'm going to go for the big guy first. So, get Chuck in here. Hopefully he can hit for a sneak attack. And he does. 9 and 7. Not bad. Now the question, do I go for my second attack? I do. No falling back this time. Ugh, 1 damage. Oh well, at least it was another hit. Enemy turn. They cast Doom Laughter on Mitchell, and I fail to look up what Doom Laughter does, but I can see the little debuff above his head. And then I just take some more hits. Yeah, another attack on Cammy. And then, oh, looks like boss enemy throws another Ray of Frost. Horribly misses. And then here we are back to Foggy. Looks like we're going to throw another Magic Missile. No more shield. Come on. 3 guaranteed hits. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Take out the fighter. And just stay back and continue to concentrate on Entangle. Next up is Cammy. Looks like we're going to go melee with her. I cast light on their weapons before the combat, so she has light on her mace. You can see it lit up. Bam, she gets a hit on that Saboteur. And finally I remembered to do Spiritual Weapon. Way into the fight. And then I have a little struggle with where to cast it. It wouldn't let me cast it on entangled areas. So I'm like, okay. Where can I put this thing? Aha! I find a spot, And then I could have sworn in 5e, when you cast Spiritual Weapon, you can immediately attack with it the same turn it comes out. But apparently not in this. So, and I might be wrong about that 5e rule. Somebody let me know. But, yep, that ends her turn. And then back to Mitchell. Mitchell's just going to take an attack on the Saboteur right in front of him. And 1+7. A nat 1. Critical miss. Going into round 6, starting off with Chuck. And coming in with the sneak attack for Chuck for the 2d6 extra damage. And a bye-bye. Yep, one more down. Enemy turn. We got another one that managed to get out of the entangle and push his way through. And back to Foggy. Look, I got one first level spell slot left. It's like, alright, cantrip time. And there must be like just enough room to squeeze this cantrip through, because it's not coming through with partial cover for the +2 AC for that enemy. Bam! Went with the arrow instead of the cantrip. He has proficiency with that bow, being a green mage. Looks like we're just going with the regular attack for Cammy. 17+6, definitely a hit. And then Spiritual Weapon. Take up in the air. It's going to have advantage because the flying one is restrained. And schmack. Oh. Whatever. It's going to be a miss there. Got Mitchell next up in the rotation. He's continuing the trend of just a regular smack. And do I go for the Divine Smite? No need. Passed on it and still knocked him dead. Let's see. Mitchell's going to position up in a place where he can take shots next round. And yeah, there we go. Get shots on everybody. And beginning around 7. Back to Chuck. Alright, Chuck's going to run up into a position where he can take shots on everybody. Flip to the bow. And the first shot's going to be at advantage. We can see here it's because the Acolyte of Sortar is restrained, even though he's up in the air. So we get that advantage shot. 18+7. Schmack. Knocked him right out of the sky. Now he's laying on the ground. I'm going to end my turn here so I don't have to step into the restraints. Next up we got Foggy. Still standing back, concentrating on just keeping that entangle up. Go ahead and step up to a place where he can take a shot with a cantrip. And it looked like from the position that I moved him into, he only had a line on one of the two monsters. So I line up that one with advantage. Boom, 4 damage. And end his turn. Putting next into the rotation, Cammy herself. My healer, my cleric. I'm just going to have her come up, switch to her bow, crossbow in her case, take a shot at the boss monster. Looks like it was an epic miss, but we're going to go ahead and take a second shot at the same monster with the Spiritual Weapon. And schmack. Okay, yeah, definitely hurt. He's almost down. We have an attack on Mitchell here. It hurts, but I'll tell you, Mitchell's resistance to poison has come in handy a couple times so far in this fight, where he's taking half damage from poison attacks against him. And oh, look at that. He fires ranged right into the boss monster, and he is dead. Just one enemy left restrained as we go into Chuck's turn, and he takes a shot with advantage, and that's a hit. And that is a victory.
Worthy foes indeed.
They bleed just like we do.
Now we just need one of their bloody heads.
So, this has been Solasta, Crown of the Magister. I really like the combat in this game, so I thought I would just do a video showing the combat mechanics and how similar they really are to 5e. Even more accurate, I would say, than the Baldur's Gate 3 5e mechanics, which I'm doing a playthrough right now of Baldur's Gate 3. I'll put a link down in the description if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing. Go ahead and check it out down there. And if you like this video, let me know by, well, you know, liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And go out and do something nice for somebody today. And thanks for watching Fog of War. Fog of War. Fog of War.